Hello, hello. Welcome to the weekly opening for April 26th. We are just less than 5 minutes before the opening. Okay, this market has been doing. I hope you remember that this is going to be. It's not going to take that long. Uh, but by Tuesday or Wednesday last week, we were talking about these areas, potential areas of where huge activity was happening. Right, and these ones here, right? There's with this one coming from April 20th, and this one from April 17th, right? From back in time here, and we were just kind of like wondering, right? That there could be some, the market could try to reach this area, and if this one is not reached, there could be a break towards the other one from April 16th, right? Or even a small breakout, trying to, establish a base above this area, and then fail, right? And notice just how close these breaks, these dips came. Uh, but it fall. The thing is, the market has formed a range. Let me bring my daily charts. I don't put my daily charts here on the side, right? We have this daily chart range with the 7100 as as a basically as a support now. And what catches my attention is the way how during all these days, right after the last one was established here, nothing comes here, nothing comes here, nothing comes here, right, until Friday. But the way how it does, right, the way how it does, it's just kind. It looks to me like this market is being held, up there. It's like somebody's trying to help the market just because they have the power to buy or keep buying. Um, of course, it's not like that, right? Um, because if you ever try to rationalize something that is irrational, as markets are, I would just end up, you know, I end up being looking like a crazy person because I don't think that can be done. But this one catches my attention. It has been a really questionable week to me, with short coverings, days of there were only short coverings followed by liquidation, short coverings, and liquidation. And now we have another bad news coming from the White House. Right? I wonder where this market will open. Let's see. All right. It didn't open that much. It has found support right here, right at the base of this range here, which is not actually a good sign, to me at least. Okay? Now the next thing now is this going to act as a resistance now? All right. The market can do the things here and see, if can take this reference, right, and establish itself above it. In the lower side, I have the close of the distributions as my main, um, one of my main reference in the lower side, around the 71, 77, something, sort of level. Yeah, 77, right there, 77. Now, the next thing, because what I do is I trade these charts, right? Notice how old this reference is, the one, the 417. The more the market trades through certain references, the less relevant it becomes. Right? To me, this one is relevant now. This one and the one down here. Right, these two. As the market opened during the week, my immediate reference in the lower side is 71, 76 or 77, right? As we talk about this. And let's see if this market can establish or can I find some support in this area here, right? And try to make a comeback from this level. If that happens, that will still show some. It will show the market is having or is paying attention to this area here. Now, in order to have, kind of like a general or bigger areas that I will need to look for. I have here the 7040, right? Which is why I have this in the lower side, right? If there is something here to the lower side, this can act, right? This can act as a spike for a balloon when it's falling. Comes down here and then just pop and then goes back up. This one. If it doesn't hold, that's another story. If it doesn't hold, remember down here we have fingerprints, 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 fingerprints. There is nothing here, right? If anything happens, there is nothing here that can hold this market if this level fails, right? All the way down to the 6600. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying there's going to be a big break or whatever, but sometimes what goes high fast, it can come down even faster. Right? But remember, there is a lot of activity that's coming that we have this week. You have a lot of the earnings. We have Amazon Wednesday, we have Apple on Thursday, we have Meta on Wednesday, we have Microsoft on Wednesday. Yeah, so there's a lot. And if I am correct, I believe we also have FOMC, right? Down here we have FOMC. Oh, come on. Come on, man. All right. We have Wednesday, 2 p.m. FOMC, and more important, Chairman Powell press conference at 2:30 p.m. This is something that traders are going to paying special attention, right? And anything that is said during this press conference can just bring volatility to the market. The trade actually can be after this, right? After this, maybe the next day, or if we have something there might be even something. It's weird that those kind of or at least I couldn't never could have uh, good days during those news releases because volatility is just high, just too high. All right, let's go back and see. Oh, I was telling my levels here. Why you have this high? This is the previous all-time high. We are having a breakout now. This is important. We're having a breakout of this range. Right? Now, holding this level is one thing, but if the market cannot take this high out and start building something above, there might be something to the downside. No? First, towards the opposite side of this range, which is why I have this basically 70, 80 level, and there's a lot of weakness down below. There's just absolutely nothing that can hold this market. Okay, let me put this one back. I honestly thought that there could today there could have been some kind of like a heavy opening gap to the downside because of this news that about the war in Iran that tells why they're saying that there's this envoy going to Pakistan that's supposed to, make some sort of deal or work on some sort of deal uh, about the ceasefire, but it was cancelled, right? And because of that, I thought this market may even, it had a chance that maybe they open down below here. But the fact that it open here, right? Now it's taking this level out, is closing the distributions, targets this the next level, the 78, my bad, 71.68 sort of, right? Followed by this one here with 71.16, which is basically, if I'm going to go ahead and ignore all of them and just keep my eyes on this one here. Only that. Okay. As we can see, there's some selling here, but and the market just didn't even get close to this area here. Maybe we may have something like this action here in which the market try to or aim to take this high concentration of volume around this level or at this level. When it couldn't get to that, next thing we have an upside. That might be it can be the same dynamics here. All right, the same dynamics is a short covering, weakens the market, and the next thing we have is some sort of break. But I want to be sure. Right? I want to bet the house on anything here, right? Just a tweet, anything that comes from the White House can just change everything here in an instant. Okay. I don't have other references in these market profiles. This one, oh, my bad. This is the 7084. Remember, I hope you remember this one on the upper side, which is the breakout that we are having now. We have on Friday. Really nice break this market is having now. It is just, everybody is used now to see the market selling and just recovering. Right? We see some. Well, I can see volume coming here in the lower side. No, but this volume, I don't expect this to be that much. Right? It's not even 1,000. Heavy volume for the weekend is 300 to 200, which is basically really, it's very low. You know? My eyes also, remember when I talk about this distribution here, right? This low here came down exactly to the opening period high here. This one over here. Right there. Very mechanical. All of this action, very mechanical. Very mechanical action up there. Okay. I'm going to leave these charts for a little bit here. I don't have anything else to say. Notice Nasdaq, what's happening here. It's just random volume. There has nothing here on the upper side, no buyers here. Nasdaq has, you can see the emotions running high in Nasdaq here. Look at this distribution here. The next reference in the lower side. Next one in the lower side. So you just can have an idea, right? All this is happening. It hasn't even closed the upper ones here, right? So be careful, right? There may be some selling that's coming now, but in the bigger picture, it's not showing weakness here, really. Okay, I'll come back. I will just leave this up and do some weekend stuff. If there's something, I will just come back to check anything here. All right. Oh, before I go, just if anybody is interested in short this market, just take a look at what momentum looks like, right? This is a strong momentum to the upside, right? This is a V shape here that we have, a V shape. Like there's some range here. From here it can go high or it can go low. But if it is going to go low, it's very rare, right? Very rare to see something like that, right? Usually, this curve will start to flatten a little bit, right? And then go down. I'm not saying that it cannot be though, right? Because just check this out. Just check what happened here, right? The starlet, it was a sharp upside as well. Not as sharp as this one. Here it went parabolic. Inventory was super short, right? The market is in short covering mode. It is still is in short covering mode, Right? Really, it is still, it's unbelievable how this um, market can be. But just take a look here, right? Just take a look at what's happening here, right? What happened here? Just short coding. How long short coding can last? I just have no idea. Okay, I'll be back soon. But I mean, I don't know when I come back. Maybe 15, 20, or 30 minutes. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to leave this charts up. So if anybody is interested. All right, all right. I'm back here. Let's have a quick look of time frames. This is the 4-hour time frame. My bad. This is 60 minutes. Why 60 minutes? It's supposed to be 240. 4 hours. All right. Let's do the 4 hours. Okay, right there. All of these ones down here are fingerprints, fingerprints, right? I have more fingerprints up here. Why I have this? Why I put this? Why I mark my charts like this? Because the markets have a tendency to get some, have a tendency to feel these fingerprints. And yes, there is just too much, man. There's a lot to the downside. Right? Unbelievable amount of fingerprints to the downside. And if the market has this, now that the market has gave us a range here, let me maximize. Let's see if I can maximize this. Okay. Let me do some. All right there. Okay. Now the market has gave us a range here, right? Look at what the price is right now, right at the top, right at the higher range. All right. We'll go back to that in a moment. And now we have some pockets here, pockets here, and if there is any upside, we may see something, some options here to the downside. Maybe towards the 7160, something like that. What is that? Huh? 7160 down here. Oh, come on, man. 7160, right? The thing is, what can the market do, down here? If there is something to the downside, it will just go through that level, right? And maybe it can give us more, tails the same way how it has been giving us here in the last week. Every single time the market has taken or has had a break as it has been bought, right? You can see significant tails here, tail here, tail here, tail here. I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing keeps happening here, something like this, maybe the whole week again. I don't know, right? But what happened if there is anything to the downside? Usually there is a whole bunch of those things fails, and then it just stops there and goes through. Right when it goes through, that's when I'm going to pay attention to these single prints. Right now, I'm just watching. Right, the risk, I consider the risk in this market is extremely high, extremely high. The daily time frame show this spike, this momentum to the upside, but now in the 4 hours that time frame, there's some flattening here, right? It's trying to pick up here again. We have this high, we might have seen something here again, but it can also go lower. I'm not going to say this or that, right? But notice what happened here, right? The first time markets bought from the average, the 30 hours high. Next time it just takes that one out and goes to the lower side. It's bought from here. Next time it gets below this moving average. This is the 30 lows, right? And I don't I don't know. The next thing, right, next time, it may also come down here. But again, I am not going to position myself for anything here, expecting something to happen. You know, any trade or any positioning, or at least from my point of view, is, or it has to be, once it is happening, right? Once it is happening. Let's take a look now to a shorter time frame. I'm going to use the same chart, but now I'm going to shorten the time frame. Now I'm going to use the 2 hours time frame, right? If I see some indication, if I can see something else here, right? Shut downside, another B formation here, breakout below the 30 lows. None of these single pins have been touched. Actually, there was one here, but this was in the 2 minutes time frame. There's another one here that cannot be seen, right? This is a tiny two in the 2 hours, right? This one here, right? Let's use now. I'm going to check the 1 hour, the 60 minutes time frame. The same chart, same chart. Notice where the momentum is here, right? This indicator, the bought, overbought, oversold, where it is now. This market is, this is why this is interesting, right? It's having a breakout, and look at where it is now, right? Right now. It's at the lower side. It's at the opposite side of this range. That's oversold. All right. There is some, at least there is something here that is catching my attention here. There's some divergence here. You know, momentum is going lower here, right? These highs are lower highs. Momentum keeps going higher, but each time is making low highs here. So this can be an area of some. This is an area of danger actually. Let me go back again to if that can be seen. If that is something that can be seen on the 4 hours chart, the 2 hours chart. The 2 hours is going higher here. This has higher highs. Is the 60? I assume the 30 minutes is going to be even more. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is something interesting actually. Okay, let me see. This slightly lower here. No, it goes higher, but it doesn't make a higher high here, right? And momentum kind of like stops here, and the trends to the downside now. Even though the market is still high, is going higher. There can be something here actually to the downside. And notice what's happening here. But there is the thing here. This would be something to even more relevant if it was here. Instead of being down here, it was up here. Because notice where it is. Right? This is the 30 highs and this is the 30 lows. It's still in the upper side. Right? I will take a look in a moment. The kernels. I will take a look at the kernels channel here. Just a second. This is the 30. Let me see. Now I don't see this that much. I want to see this makes a lower low here. This is the 15 minutes, and there is actually, but this tells me right who is doing the trade right now. No, it is it is the overnight trade. There's no volume is very low. And you can see now, and we can see now that is below the 30, right? It's not above the 30 highs, but it's below 30 low. But this kind of formation, this kind of formation is just um, quite interesting, right? I would say that would be the least, right? We have a really obvious trend here, and if there's a breakout here, if there's some rebalancing, it may take this low, follow this low, this low, this low, and may find the market trading in this area now. And the next thing to watch would be this 71. I guess that's what we said before, right? 71.60. There's so many times the market has make a sort of stand around 750, 760 here, right? 50, 60. And also we have a major support around, yeah, look at that. This is 71.50 and 71.60 from Friday, from April 17th and April 20th. All right. I'm going to put this back where it belongs. Put the 4 hours again, because that is what originally was. I'm going to bring the kernel channels now. Okay. Here's where I have, what do I have kernel channel? Okay, right here. Come on. Okay, this is a kernel. For the ES, huh? This compression, there's nothing kind of like obvious, right? All this time, this market has been trying moving in the center, right? When you get out of the channel, is pushed back to center, center, out, back to center, out, building itself, a little bit higher, coming back to center again. If any break here, probably can be bad again. Look at what this level is. I mean, 71.60. That number is coming back, all right? It's coming back. It's showing itself so many times now. Really. This is 10 minutes with the kernel. Seems like a dead market here. Very risky market. There's no reason to do anything here. Really, it seems like we may have some volatility soon, some back and forth, but nothing of relevance, right? After what I mean with that is, let me bring the daily. Oh, let's have the 4 hours, right? What I mean with that is, yeah, we have FOMC earnings. So far, Netflix, for example, it has a huge break, but it didn't have any impact in the market, right? When it happened, it did not reflect the market. The futures index, Nasdaq or ES did not show anything, any kind of feeling regarding that sell-off that happened on Netflix. And there may be something here to the upside or to the downside, but after all this nonsense, all the or news releases or earnings, you know, it won't be weird. It won't be unusual to see the market back at the end of the week, back where it opened, right? You may have a huge break and then it come back to this area again, right? They have a clear upside and then breaks down to this area to close the week. Again, this is just, I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I have to be open to whatever scenario, even the more scenarios I think of, you know, the less likely I am going to fall for something dramatic. This is something that I got from the Dow, right? This is just interesting. Anyway, from where it was, right? You have excess in the upper side and then huge break, right? And the recovery. We have a gap here, we have a gap over here. It has not taken this high out. Now this area here has become resistance. Right? It's trying to get back. It's working its way back, trying to work its way back into this range. Notice how these lows, are being reestablished here again, and something. This can bring us. It can give us some clue, or maybe something kind of like a behavior how this can be, right? Because what is happening now in ES, the ES is having a breakout of these highs, right? And something really serious may actually happen to the downside. But for this kind of action to happen many times, right? In this kind of markets, when markets got momentum, usually something external needs to happen to trigger any kind of movement. So far, this one looks to me just like short covering. Right? The market is in short covering mode, and that has not ended yet. Right? Let's take a look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq also has the same kind of like a pattern, the same kind of chart as the Dow here. Nasdaq is actually having a breakout of the range. 1, 2, 2 gaps to the upside. Let's see Russell. All-time high. Check this out. Look at what this. This is what well, this high is. The last week low is just stopped here. It was bought from this. We have this. This is actually different. Huh? This chart is actually quite different, and I would say interesting. But the motions are running high here as well because of the gaps here. No, and it has even more gaps than Nasdaq and ES. As you can see. The major moving averages are actually kind of like very established, right? Let me take a look of the Dow. There are cross, Nasdaq. There are also cross. You have 50 down, way down below the 200. And the same going on with the ES. What about the other markets, the bond market? No. These kind of things I am afraid may happen in the current markets, right? We have this. Remember when I showed you the 4-hour chart of the ES, when we have these tails, this bond market has these tails now, and now it's establishing itself. Once you start to take these tails, it actually may build lower. But I wouldn't be that I'm not that sure here actually, because of these highs are these cluster highs are very close one to each other. Gold and crude oil have been all over the place. very, very dangerous markets here. Really. I think the next thing to watch would be this 71.95 from Friday, and what the market does relative to that reference. I'm going to open my profiles here if I can see any relevant reference here. Okay, I got two here. One the 71.84, which is the low of this formation, which I would say I could also say the previous all-time high. And the next one in the lower side is actually a range, which will be the single principle we have from this day here, right? If there's anything to the downside, what the market does, right? If the market starts to slow down in this area, if there's anything to the downside, that could be a good area for a buy. Um, but I just have some very specific area or level in the upper side, which is the 71.84. Building value below this area may trigger some some rebalancing here, which because it would put the market back inside this range, right? As right now has looked above, and if the market comes back inside this range, the obvious or the next um, or the potential level to watch in the lower side would be the opposite side of the range at 70.80. Just that. Okay. Just like that, I'm going to call it not a day, but I'm going to say that I don't have anything else to add. I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful weekly trade. Stay safe.